Silent Bob to show up.
Right. How you doing, Chuck?
Good. How you doing?
Good,
man. Congratulations on the book.
Look at you with a book.
Oh, thanks.
We've had Chuck on the show many times, and this book looks like a great read. I haven't been able to start it yet, but Jimmy has. And
I was perusing it. I left early last week because I was sick. And it's great. It's really like the opening line is about how people, the most common question they ask you is about what's it like to walk down the street and not be afraid of anything. So it's just like, it starts off interesting immediately. And there's a great line here I wanted to ask you about. Because do you really dislike Tito Ortiz?
I'm not a big fan of his, no.
It really comes across.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
what page, Jimmy? I want to enjoy this.
On page 179. It's right after. There's a great color photo section in here. And where the hell is it? I should have marked it. It's something about
before you get to that,
I got highlighted one.
How old are you right here as a wrestler?
As a sophomore in high school. I can't believe my sister gave that picture.
Oh, man, yeah, look at some of these pictures. That's
You're
great.
embarrassed by that picture, I'm assuming.
We were forced to wear those, yeah.
It's the typical high school wrestling get-up.
The next year we got to lose the
But the point I'm going to make, as a sophomore, you look like a badass. Who looks like a badass as a sophomore in high school?
Dude, I wouldn't fight him when he had the little Boy Scout hat on. There's a picture of Chuck before. It's actually he's like a cute kid. And if you just saw this picture of any kid, you wouldn't think anything. He's just a cute little boy with a little yellow thing and a Boy Scout hat.
Sure.
And there's another picture
he
of him.
Turns into Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, it's like, wow, that little boy right there made a living putting his fist into people's jaw. You can never, look at the kid and realize what the adult is going to be like.
Well, he's got the death stare as a kid. How old are you there?
Man, I don't know.
It even says
I'm pretty young.
Maybe
5 or 6. It says Iceman death stare, and it says I was born with it. I mean, you look really scary as a 5 or 6-year-old even.
Like little Damien.
I don't know about that.
There's a picture of it. It's cute because you got like 2 cute little kid pictures, and then you turn 2 pages, and he's in the middle of what looks like a homicide. And it's him pounding on Randy Couture. It's a really great bloody photos in this color section, man. It's really good.
But getting to the Ortiz, I'm sorry, we went on a little tangent there.
It never pays to mouth off, and I immediately knew who this one was going to be about. The opening line, and this is where Chuck kind of veils the fact that he's not crazy about Tito, but I read through it. I'm not sure why Tito is afraid to fight me, but wouldn't hesitate to fight Randy. Maybe he felt he had to fight, or else he'd be even more of a joke as champ than he already was. That's kind of insightful to the fact that you're not really looking at him as a legitimate champion. And you're not really a crap talker. What is it about him that just...
Well, he makes a living off running his mouth, and then if you're running your mouth and you're fighting anybody they'll throw at you, fine. But if you're running your mouth and picking and choosing fights, I don't like it. I don't care. I don't care about a guy that runs his mouth. So if you're willing to fight anybody they put in front of you, go ahead, run your mouth. If you back it up, go right ahead.
No, Chuck, that's just like what we do with our radio show.
Is it?
And then we take on some other radio guys, and they talk a good game, but then when it comes to us, they, whatever, we'll get into it in our book someday, but I was able to relate to that big time.
At least it doesn't end with us getting our faces punched in, though.
Yeah,
that's always nice. There's not much blood involved in radio wars.
That would be funny at the end of the radio war if, one radio guy was on the ground and just a guy like him with a mohawk and 2 tattoos on his head is putting his heel in your jaw.
We've always welcomed, just to explain, radio wars with everybody out there. But then you fight with some guys, and then they play dirty little games behind the scenes, and they don't actually take you on the airwaves.
Right,
and that's why I can relate to what you're saying, because I stopped my point there.
I mean, it's being a pussy,
right?
To me. I mean,
so basically, we're saying we're the Chuck Liddell of radio, the Opie and Anthony show. So that we're in good company.
You look good, man. I walked in, I saw Chuck in the dressing room, and it's like I've never seen you this awake at 6:30, 7 o'clock.
The way everything was set up, I left at 11:30 from home. So basically, I slept till about 11. Went to the airport. Then, because we flew out at 1:30, so I had to leave at 11:30. So then I got here. Basically, I sleep on planes because I get bored. Even if I'm not tired, I'll sleep on a plane because I just can't sleep.
Yeah, I call it time machining.
Yeah, I can't.
You just go to sleep
that long.
You end up where you want to go, and it seems like no time has passed.
Yeah,
love that.
So I woke up for a little bit, 8, and then I went back because I was here at 11 o'clock at night. You know, so I went back to sleep. So I didn't do nothing but sleep for the last, you know, I've been out of sleep for the last 24 hours, so should be fine.
You're flying first now, if I would hope so. Yes. You're flying first class.
Yes.
The people who don't know who you are, like older people, look at you like maybe if you sit down next to them and go, who is this person? He's got a tattoo on his skull.
You know,
who is this?
I've seen that sometimes when people like, especially a couple years back. I've been going flying first class for a couple years now, but a couple years back before everybody, now at least they can go, hey, who's that? And someone will be able to answer.
Right.
You know, a couple years ago, you know, they might not, I don't know. Why is he sitting up here with us in his...
Imagine some poor, dumb hijacker gets on the plane and goes, oh my God, I picked the plane with Chuck Liddell. It's like, I might as well, where's the plane going? Because that's where I'm going.
Signaling his friends Ixnay on the signal. You just came off, man. I watched the fight. You came off what they said might be the biggest win of your career, which was Vanderlei Silva, which was, I mean, the guy, it's so amazing the parity in your game, because he beat, I think, Quentin twice. Quentin beat you twice, and then you come back and beat him. And it was dude, what a fight that was, man. That son of a bitch can take a punch.
Oh yeah, you know, honestly, I always thought he was a great fighter, and I always thought he and he has that flash chin, but I always thought he recovered quick. But you know, I didn't know he recovered that quick. You know, I rock him, and you know, I get on him. I jump on people when I rock him. I get on him, start hitting him, and he keep coming. I mean, and to his credit, man, a lot of guys would have quit. I mean, because you get them, you're swinging, you're hitting them, and you know, a lot of guys in their minds, you know, I won't say names like Tito, but just decide to quit, not respond, you know. But he just would keep coming back.
You bloodied him. There was one part where they're fighting, and they said, and Silva's bleeding from the ear. And I'm like, man, you don't hear that in traditional boxing. His ear was bleeding.
Is that bad when that happens?
Well, yeah, it's not
as
good.
Opposed to good.
As opposed to, yeah, not good, no. But
and in the second round, it looked like you slipped. It was obviously a slip.
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody get up. It was almost like you just wanted to jump up and go, it's a slip. I get it. I slipped. And then you fell back again, and I thought he hit you until the replay showed that you actually slipped again after you hit him and you backed up.
Yeah. I was, man, that ring gets slippery out there, and it's the canvas, it's hard, you know, it's a combination between everything. It's just hard to keep a traction.
All kinds of goop down there on that canvas, man.
So, you know, get sweat, and I sweat, I get real sweaty, so.
Yeah, like Jimmy said, that was a huge win, because you went into it as the underdog. Technically, people were looking at you as the underdog, right?
Yeah, 2 losses in a row. I mean, it's very rare for you to have that happen. I mean,
and people weren't sure what you know, how I was going to show up. I think some of it had to do with I got away from being a mixed martial artist. I started listening to people and just being a striker. You know, and that was a big thing I was going to do in this fight, was take a couple shots. I think it shocked everybody when it hit a couple of takedowns. People forget that I have a big wrestling background, so I can wrestle.
Right.
So, but you know, and that's. Now, I think a lot of it had to do with the attitude-wise, too. I think attitude in the gym. I gave a lot of credit to Sam Henson, who came in. He's a great wrestling coach, and he came in and helped me out with, you know, help, especially my training partners out with training partners started, you know, their intensity. Because I think they were giving me too much respect in the ring when we were training.
Right.
You know, I've been training with these guys since I brought them up, and they've been training with them for a long time, and they started getting a little bit, you know, too taking it easy on me.
Oh wow, ring, that's something, yeah.
So you're not necessarily taking, but you know, I get tired, I let it go. It just there wasn't that intensity in the room that needed to be.
Right.
You know, and I forgot it too, some, but Sammy reminded me, you know, that I'm a wrestler, and that, you know, that intensity that I need in a room to be a champion.
What happened to Mirko Krokop? We thought was going to just run through and beat everybody, and then he wound up getting beat badly, and then he lost again.
Well, that happened to a lot of the guys that, you know, came in from Pride. I mean, I think it was because they were fighting the guys from Pride, and they weren't fighting the guys from the UFC. You know, they were having great fights over there, but then they were getting beat. You know, they come out, most of them gotten beat when they came over to fight in the UFC.
Were they overconfident, you think?
I don't know if it's overconfident. I mean, I'm getting tired of hearing the fact that it's the difference between the cage and the ring. That's killing me. I mean, when the guy's a striker and he gets kicked in the head, and they're blaming it on being a cage instead of a ring.
Yeah.
You know, or you know, he's fighting a guy, and it's if it was in a cage, but if it was in a ring, you know, I mean, when Forrest beat Shogun. I mean, if it was in a ring, how's that make that big a difference? All right, someone said, well, I think on the internet, someone told me that they said, well, he couldn't use soccer kicks, talking about Vanderlei. I said, at what point in that fight was he going to kick me? Like, was I ever on the ground where he could pump me?
Yeah.
He didn't kick you at all. It seemed. It was weird because Silva's knows he's a guy who does a lot of leg kicks, and he was just kind of standing there going toe to toe with you. And I'm like, why is this idiot standing there trying to go toe to toe with punching power? It was really weird that he didn't kick.
Well, I rocked him early, so a lot of times when you get rocked like that, I mean, you just fight.
Yeah.
Whatever comes.
Did you have any injuries from the fight?
From the fight, actually, I think I cracked a rib or something in the first round. I think
that's a man's man right there.
Dude, I was just thinking that.
He thinks he cracked, but he's not really sure.
It hurt for a couple weeks, so I mean,
really?
It still hurts a little, but I started wrestling full again. So
you didn't even find out for sure if your rib was cracked. You're like, well, it could be a cracked rib. We'll see.
Well, he said it wasn't displaced, so there's not much they can do for it anyway. I mean, you go and get an X-ray, they go, well, yep, it's cracked. Or go ahead and don't do anything.
Yeah.
They can't wrap it. There's not really anything you're going to do for it, and I didn't have to train right away, so.
I'm not sure if we asked you this last time, but do guys try to mess with you on the street?
No, not
like
really.
The Tyson thing. When Tyson was in his prime, people wanted to take him on.
People ask me that all the time. I really haven't had that problem. I mean, I'm a pretty laid back person as is anyway.
Right.
And I have had people come up and say things where, depending on how I answer, could probably turn into one of those kind of like, you know. But I kind of can read that pretty quick, and I usually diffuse it, and I don't go. There's different things I could say to make it one way or the other. And,
I was surprised when I read about Tyson that they would like try to fight him on the street. I was like,
it's just people right after they wrote a suicide note. They put it down.
And we're talking about Tyson when he was like, just everyone was scared of him way before the UFC and all that, and there were actually guys that wanted to take this guy on when they were saw him out and about.
Yeah, I've never really understood that either, but I guess they figure they got nothing to lose. You know, I mean, if I get people, I had a lady the other night that said, I almost wanted to have you punch me in the face right now just so I could say, you punched me.
Wow. To oblige?
You are the first girl that said that to me, but.
You punched me in the face.
If you sign all these papers, I'll hit you as hard as you want.
Gladly belt you.
Please, how about if I can convince my girlfriend to say that to you? Can I call it a favor?
Hey, we got a bunch of Chuck Liddell fans calling today. Let's say hi to Tim in Rochester. Tim, what's up?
Hey, how you doing? I just want to congratulate Chuck on whooping Vanderlei's ass. How long till you fight Rampage for your title back?
I'm hoping by December, provided he beats Forrest.
Forrest? When's he fighting Forrest?
July, I think. They're doing the show. They're doing the next Ultimate Fighter, and then they're going to fight after that.
I was so happy to see you whoop Vanderlei's ass. Congratulations.
Yeah,
thanks.
A lot of people were psyched.
Dude, that was a beating.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like Vanderlei embarrassed. I mean, he fought a good fight, but it was a really, just like two guys in a schoolyard who can really fight, just duking it out. I mean, it was just two bloody guys punching each other in the face. It was really good, man.
It was fun. I got back to doing a lot of stuff I've done in the past. I even hit my spinning back fist. I worked on that for this fight. I thought I could land it easy.
That looks great when that connects.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I threw a high kick. It just didn't quite catch it the way I wanted to, but I almost caught it off his head.
Yeah.
I threw quite a few things in there. Plus, obviously, the double legs, too.
That back fist that you threw, and then they pointed out that you looked at the clock a couple of times. Were you like, will you do that in the ring? Like, all right, we got to save a little bit of energy here to make sure I can protect myself.
Well, most of the time, he looked up at the clock, so I'm like, okay, wait, what's he wait? I want to see if he was, wanted to see if he was timing for a certain, sometimes people try to win the round last 30 seconds, or, so they try to turn it on. So I was making sure, I'm like, wait, I'm not that close to the end of the round. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, but most of the time when I looked up, I think every time I looked up, I was looking off of him. He'd look up, and I go, okay, good.
Gave him quite a savage beating.
When you rock somebody like that, though, what does it just go through your mind? Like, okay, now I just got to get in there and finish the job.
Yeah. Oh yeah, when you got someone rocked, you got to get in there and put it away because
there's the job.
Try to get it over with.
Because it amazes me sometimes you see that happen and you see somebody back off. You go, what the hell are you doing? Get in there.
Oh, yeah.
Kick his ass.
That's me at the sideline. If I see one of my friends hurt somebody, wait, get on him.
Yeah, what are you doing?
What are you circling around for? He's hurt. Go after him.
You want to pose a little bit. Like, yeah, look at what I did. Jim T. from New Jersey writes, hey, Opie, ask Chuck about Lee Murray kicking Tito's head off in a street fight in Great Britain. It's an effing hilarious story. Do you want to go there? I don't know.
I could talk about it if you want, but
I don't even know what it's about.
Well, it was a street fight in London.
Right.
But, honestly, I didn't, I actually didn't, everyone says I saw it, and I didn't. I came up out of this bar, from downstairs, we come out of the bar, probably 3:30, 4 in the morning, we were smashed in dress shoes. So I come up, you're in dress shoes too. So I come up, and I look to the left. I guess Tito was off to the right with whatever was going on with him. I don't know what's happened with Lee Murray and all that. I don't know what happened. The only thing I can say is at the end of it, if he did knock his head off, Tito was chasing after Lee Murray when the cops showed up. So I don't know if he did knock him down. I mean, he might have, if he cold cocked him and knocked him down, or if he just hit him and knocked him down. You're in dress shoes on the street. I mean, it's not too hard to knock someone down in dress shoes on the street, but I don't know that he hurt him bad because he got up and he was chasing after him. So if he hit him, if you knocked him down, it was a slip, I think. But I didn't see any of it. I looked to the left, and a little friend of mine was wrestling with a guy. And
what the hell's going on with you guys?
This guy's about 145 pounds. Had a guy double legged up against the car. Got 3 guys in the back, hit him in the back of the head. So I came over, pulled the guy off. It was probably one of the funniest things I've done, though, because I pulled the guy off and everyone was laughing because a bunch of UFC people were there because it was a UFC after party.
Yeah.
And so
remind me never to go to one of those.
What drunk starts that fight?
It was Lee Murray's crew. Oh, they all fight. They're all trained.
Oh, they're fighting. Okay.
But I throw one of the guys off and go to throw another guy. The guy hits me in the back of the head. I turn around and I go, "Oh, you mother!"
Take the watch off.
Take my watch off as I'm walking towards him. And I put it in my pocket. That was my first nice watch. I don't make it. I never had a nice watch before. So I was worried about I'm walking towards him, like down, put my watch up as I'm walking after this kid, and then it was on from there. But the UFC people were pretty laughing pretty hard because I threw a spinning back fist. I threw a spinning back kick in the fight, street fight. And, I mean, they say they've never seen that in a street fight. And I'm like, I've been fighting in the street for a while. I grew up that way, so
right.
It was fun, though.
How frightening is it when someone's coming to punch your face and you see them removing jewelry?
Yeah.
That's a confident man.
I know I'm just going to kick your ass. I don't want to break my stuff doing it.
Yeah, because he hit me and I turned around. Oh, no, you didn't.
You're like, all right, well.
I'm going to knock your teeth out, but first let me sync my iPod.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, exactly.
Hey, I have a question, too. I don't know if I asked this last time. There was a wrestler I saw you addressed. Who is the wrestler that was saying that he would like to? I don't know if it was real or not. Was it Steve Austin or who that you said he has never been hit the way I'll hit him? What wrestler were you talking about? They played audio for you on another radio show.
Oh, I can't think of his name right now.
I don't know.
Kurt Angle keeps talking. Yeah, but he, it's like Brock Lesnar's fighting next weekend.
Yeah.
And,
what do you think of that?
From what I understand, he's been doing all the right things. I don't know. Like, I haven't seen him train. I haven't seen him fight.
Mm-hmm.
So, but from what I see, he's been doing all the cross training. He's been doing the jiu-jitsu. He's been doing his striking training. And he was a good college wrestler. I mean, so I think he's got a good chance to make the transition.
Really?
If he's been doing the right stuff like he says he has, I think he should have no problem making the transition.
Sam, what do you think? Brock Lesnar?
Thumbs up?
You think he's going to do good? Sam's very into wrestling.
He was an animal when it came to fake wrestling.
Kurt Angle thinks Kurt Angle's still like one of those guys that thinks he can just come in there being a wrestler. He was a great wrestler.
But
he could just come in being a wrestler and win fights.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not going to happen.
Ain't going to happen.
Just a wrestler, not going to happen.
Once you get a few in the face, it's all over.
I fought Randleman, and Randleman was the national champ when I wrestled at the same weight as me in college.
Right.
And he didn't get anywhere. I mean, he lasted, a minute 18?
You did an FS?
Yeah.
There's a buzz surrounding Brock Lesnar joining.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Should be interesting.
And what is it? Part of the pay-per-view this Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should plug that really fast. This Saturday night, UFC 81 is on pay-per-view. And, you got Brock Lesnar fighting for the first time.
He's fighting Frank Mir. So that'd be interesting. Frank Mir's a guy that, he's got great submissions. He's slick. Mm-hmm. So it'd be interesting to see how Brock does.
How many more years you got, Chuck?
I got a couple left at least.
Well, you're starting to become you're becoming a Hollywood star too there. You're out and about in Hollywood. You were on Entourage.
I have fun with it, but I still like fighting, man. And I still got a few more people to beat.
There's a line in the book where he talks about, and this is it's amazing how you look at genetics and what makes us different. Where Chuck says something about if it's fight or flight, my instinct has always been to stay and fight. And it's like I couldn't have a more polar opposite instinct than somebody else.
You're the runaway guy.
Like there's still an image of me there as I'm running away. That's how fast.
Cartoon image.
Bolt. But it's very interesting to me, just that mentality that makes you have the ability or the desire to, like, you like to fight people. You like hitting people.
I like the competition of it, you know. And I've never been someone who liked hurting people. I've never been that way. I've never liked hurting people, but I do like fighting.
See, that's the reason I'm not into fighting and stuff. Is it's not the mindset of me hurting people. It's me getting hurt. I've never liked taking a punch to the face. It is one of the most unpleasant things that can happen to you. That whole boing, that ringy thing, and you don't quite know where you are. It really sucks.
That's when you realize. That's when you realize you're getting older. When you get hit, and you're like, "Man, this sucks."
I haven't been hit in years.
But there was a time it was kind of fun.
No, it's never been fun to me. I've always never liked getting punched.
There was a time it was fun to punch someone. It was fun to get hit. You know, not by someone like Chuck Liddell, by the way. People more my speed.
You don't want a life-changing experience.
Right, you don't want a life-changing punch, you're right, but to be in like a little street brawl where, you know, you're getting bruised up a little bit and you get to hit a few times, it was fun until you hit an age and you get hit and you're like, all right, I'm never doing this again. This sucks.
Do you know
all right, anyway.
No, you do. You're 100% right.
I think it's just a youth thing is what I'm getting at, and eventually you just grow out of it.
I think one of the amazing things about you, like they were talking about you during the fight, and you're definitely the most recognizable light guy in the UFC. And it's like you pretty much, even though they were fighting before, you're the face kind of this sport. Like you're the guy that took it to that level. And how much of that, like all that pressure and the partying and stuff, I mean, did that affect you in the two fights that you lost? Was it too much of the good life? Like
I don't think so. I mean, I think the other things, I mean, training wise, but I take my time off to train for every fight. 3 months I take off to train for every fight. Wow. And, you know, people talk about me going out. I mean, I've never not gone out. I drink water. You know, I go out. I just want to be around people. I'm a night person. I'm nocturnal. You know, I don't like getting up this early.
That's what thinks, doesn't it?
Tell me about it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get up before 10:30. When I don't have anything to do, you know, so or when I have stuff to do, when I'm training and stuff, I wake up at 10:30. So
you got a girlfriend, or you just?
Yeah, I got a girlfriend.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Here's Bob Kelly. He came in just to meet you. Bob,
talk about polar opposites. This is physique polar opposite.
It's gonna be polar opposite.
Yeah. Bob, hurry up because Chuck's a busy man. He's got to leave in a few minutes.
All right, Bob. Take care.
All right, see you guys later.
All right,
let's say hi.
Hey there, Bob.
Let's say hi to Paul in Boston as Bob goes to the mic there. Paul, what's up?
Hey, what's up, boys? Hey, quick question for Chuck. If you could fight any, like, celebrity, athlete, musician, actor, anybody, who would it be?
Do I have to limit it to just one? No, I don't know. I don't have anybody I dislike, really. So.
Yeah. Another question, too. What do you think about Floyd Mayweather possibly fighting UFC? How do you think he'd do if that ever happened?
You know, he doesn't have enough time to learn enough wrestling to make it interesting. I mean, he's gonna. I don't think he makes it interesting. I've said for a long time, people keep asking me. I got a 135 pounder in my house and put him on his head and finish him in the first round. I mean, he can learn enough about stopping a shot in. I mean, when? How long is he going to take to? How long is he going to practice wrestling before he switches over?
Yeah, I said the same thing, man. I don't think he'd do good.
Unless they feed him somebody that's going to stand there and strike with him. That was the answer to the question, by the way. We said about Mayweather coming in, and you went like the laugh before the answer was kind of indicative that it wasn't going to be a positive response. Yeah, I mean, he's great. He's a great boxer. I mean, this is a different sport. How long would it take you? And not to knock Tyson, the guy was one of the greatest fighters ever, I think, in his prime. Like, how long would you feel comfortable fighting him for in a UFC match? Like, how long do you think he would last in a UFC match, not a traditional boxing match? You hit him with the same. It's the same thing. I mean, he's a fan of the sport, and I like the guy. But you hit him with the takedown right away. I mean, no one in their right mind is going to stand there and bang with him. I mean, why? Why give him his one shot? Tie him up, take him down, finish him. I mean, it's not. I would hate to. I think it would be real easy.
I mean, for someone, I'm not
even like
for any UFC fighter, because
even like some of the guys when you when you watch him box, even back when he was great. I mean, the guys could tie him up. If they come in and they grab him,
right?
Like look at Bone Grabber Smith, whatever.
Oh, Bone James Smith,
Bone Crusher Smith, yeah, whatever.
Who's the one who beat him? You mean?
No, the guy that just kept grabbing. He grabbed him.
That's how Lennox Lewis actually beat him. He just every time you punch him and then lean on his back and his weight just kept tiring him out.
Right.
That's why I got so pissed.
And he would put his glove in Tyson's face and it smelled like Christina Ricci.
You got a question for Chuck?
Yeah, I just watched your last fight, and I can't believe you just beat the hell out of the Axe Murderer. Anytime you beat somebody up called the Axe Murderer, I was wondering who do you think they get you fighting next? I mean, are you gonna fight Jackson for the belt again? Is that your whole thing?
That's what I'm waiting. I'm trying to get. Well, he's fighting Forrest. If he beats Forrest, then yeah, hopefully by December I'll fight him for the title. But I'm gonna fight somebody probably in June or July.
You're gonna fight somebody else before because you fight a lot.
Well, I try to. I mean, I don't want to. I'm not getting any younger either. I'm trying to get as many fights as I can before my body decides to quit on me.
What do you want to do after this? I mean, this guy. I mean, obviously you don't know, but I mean, like, do you want to manage young fighters, or do you want to get out of the fight game, or just do films, or just bang chicks, or?
Well, all the above.
What order?
Start with backwards order. Yeah, I should be fine with. I should be fine in just doing what I want when I'm done. But I will train guys for sure. I mean, there's some guys I've been my sparring partners and training partners for a long time, and they got careers left for. I'm gonna stick around for those guys at least. I can at least see those guys through.
You ever maybe even accidentally just really rocked a sparring partner?
Yeah, of course.
Do they just go, "Oh my God, I wasn't expecting that"?
Yeah, if that happens, you can't go.
That would be hysterical. You're like, "Yeah, I'm sparring with Chuck." Bam. Just on the mat.
Training partners, guy wrestlers. Especially when I first started, they put headgear on. I put the gloves on, and just trying to stop takedowns, stop shots. I had buddies. I swear to God, man, I had some of the nicest friends. Wrestled me from Paulie. I drop one, hit the ground, and they move him out of the way, and then he would wake up and get in the back of line.
The next son of a bitch has to come out and go, "Oh, Jesus!" They just hauled that last guy out of here.
Sorry about that. I learned a little bit there. Not you start running out of training partners. They stop coming back eventually.
That's great.
You do Kempo karate, right? You a black belt in Kempo karate?
Yeah.
Because I'm a yellow belt. I actually made it to yellow.
Coward.
Oh. I was a yellow belt.
You're two yellow belts.
2 yellow belts. I actually did quit because my gi split. You know how hard it is to make a gi split?
It's pretty hard, yeah.
Yeah, I actually we had to do our splits in the beginning of the session, and you just said rip. And
splits.
Oh God, it was awful. It was an all-you-can-eat buffet across the street. It was either karate, Kempo, or anyways. When you throw your punches, though, you throw these. You come, you have your hands up so high and you almost come down at an angle sometimes. Do you practice something different to actually throw a harder punch from a shorter distance? I mean,
it's all hips. I mean, you don't have to throw, I throw a short right probably harder than anything I throw.
It's ridiculous.
But it's all hips and body. It's not your arms really.
Do you practice anything?
I practice from all different angles. We try to throw punches from different angles, and I just want to, because I throw punches to land. I just want to land them, from any angle. And it's hard to block when you're throwing from all the different. Different angles coming from different ways.
He's standing there and he hits you on the top of the head. You're like, where did that come from?
Yeah, so.
Yeah, they always say you punch from the hip. Can you punch from the hip? I can't do it. I try. I just stand there. My hips don't move. And I throw weak little arm jabs at the heavy bag.
I saw him hit the heavy bag. It's like somebody actually getting molested, and they're just trying to get the person off them. Just flailing.
And you know that view from both angles, don't you?
Wow. Hey, you really throw a knockout punch with words, Jim.
We really got to get Chuck out of here. You got a whole tour today, huh?
Yeah.
The book tour?
It's going to be interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Where are you going next?
Actually, I don't even know. They got the list over there. So we got some TV today.
Very cool.
Conan tonight.
Well, we're excited.
Yeah, doing Conan tonight, I think.
Oh, cool.
Tonight.
We're very excited. The book's called The Iceman.
Great.
It's obviously about your fighting your whole life.
My whole life, pretty much. Yeah.
Yes, Chuck Liddell. And
cool pictures in there too. Definitely.
It's really cool. Like a lot of times these books come out and they're not interesting. But this one, every time I would flip to a chapter and start reading it, it's like you want to just finish the chapter. There's not a lot of fluff or crap in it. It's just a really interesting read. And you know, if anyone's going to write a book about fighting, it's obviously going to be you. And it's called The Iceman. And Chuck is actually going to be doing signings. You're doing a few of them.
A few of them here, yeah.
It's called My Fighting Life. I'm sorry, man. It just says Iceman on the bottom, like a dope. It's called My Fighting Life if you go on Amazon for it. So the signings are tomorrow, 1 o'clock at Borders here in New York, 100 Broadway, and 7 p.m. That's how you know you're famous, when you do 2 signings in a day.
2 signings, yeah.
At Bookends in Ridgewood, New Jersey. I've done a signing there. It's a great place.
Whereabouts in New Jersey is that?
It's probably 15 minutes outside the GW. So people that want to come in Manhattan, stay in Manhattan. Or if you live in Jersey, just go to Bookend. It's perfect. You can do it if you're from anywhere in this area.
Yeah, and then, of course, it's in Rockaway, so I don't know where that is, by Dover.
Well, Wednesday night, you're back in New York at 6:30 p.m. at the Virgin Megastore.
Jeez.
So you got 3 different chances in the area to buy My Fighting Life, and Chuck will be happy to sign. Happy might not be the operative word, but he'll do it.
I'll be happy to sign.
And man, congratulations! I'm really, really happy for you that you wrote the book, and just so happy to see you win, man.
Yeah.